You are not overwhelmed because your life is too full. You are overwhelmed because it is too noisy. Too many notifications. Too many roles to play. Too many versions of yourself spread thin across platforms, expectations, and fears. We are not exhausted from doing too little. We are exhausted from chasing too much that doesn't matter. The modern world promises everything, except peace. And somewhere, beneath the avalanche of opinions, performances, obligations, you begin to whisper a quiet rebellion. What if I lived with less, but felt more? What if I stopped performing and started being? What if I stopped shouting and simply walked in truth? That whisper is not weakness. It is the return of something ancient, something sacred. This is not a guide for gaining more. This is an invitation to come back to what cannot be taken from you. The clarity of a simple life, the depth of a quiet mind, the power of leading without needing to be seen, and the wholeness of being just one person, no matter where you are. Live simply, think deeply, lead quietly, be one. This is not just a mantra, it is a path. And each chapter that follows is a footstep, leading you away from distraction and back toward yourself. Chapter 1. The noise of the world and the invitation to live. Simply, you wake up, and before you even touch your breath, you've already touched your phone. You don't rise into your day, you scroll into it. The news, the messages, the comparisons, the expectations, and a never-ending checklist of things to do, be, and prove. You haven't said a single word, but the world has already spoken for you 100 times. Be faster, be more, be better, don't fall behind. And so, you enter yet another day, not to live, but to perform. The modern world doesn't chain you with iron, it drains you with excess. Too many choices, too much noise, too many roles to play. You're not imprisoned. You're just lost inside the very freedom you thought would make you whole. We're not living anymore. We're surviving in a sea of noise. But then, somewhere beneath it all, a voice whispers, soft, but unmistakably yours. What if I lived more simply? What if I needed less to feel more? What if I stopped performing and just was? That whisper isn't weakness, it's clarity. It's the quiet call of a way of living that humanity once knew before we forgot how to sit in stillness. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but he chose to sleep on the floor, not because he had to, but because he wanted to rule himself before ruling the world. He once wrote, "If you cannot master your comfort, you will never master yourself." To live simply is not to have less. It is to know what is worth keeping. We don't just need fewer possessions, we need fewer illusions. Simplicity doesn't begin outside. It begins with one honest question. What truly matters to me? What am I holding on to out of fear, not truth? Who am I trying to impress and why? Living simply isn't about deprivation. It's about liberation from all that distracts you from yourself. So start small. Sip your tea without the urge to multitask. Let your phone rest in another room for an hour. Say no to something that drains you. Be still, and let silence speak. Simplicity is not weakness. It's clarity in motion. It's strength in stillness. We often think that to live simply is to give things up. But in truth, it's to make space for what was always trying to rise within you. The world will always try to pull you away. But you don't have to go. You can choose stillness. You can choose truth. You can choose simplicity. Live simply. Not because you lack anything, but because you finally realized you were never lacking. You were only distracted. Chapter 2. The Art of Letting Go. We are taught how to hold on, to hold dreams, to hold people, to hold identities we've outgrown. But almost no one teaches us how to let go. Letting go is not weakness, it is maturity. It's realizing that not everything you carry is yours to keep. Some things were only meant to walk with you for a while, then be set down, gently. But we cling, because we confuse familiarity with truth. We hold pain like it's part of our story. We hold relationships like they define our worth. We hold beliefs like they are laws, not possibilities. And the more we hold, the heavier we become. You can't run free while dragging yesterday behind you. You can't fly if your hands are full of everything you were told to be. To let go is not to lose. It is to open your hands and trust that what truly matters will stay. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." He ruled an empire, but he held none of it tightly. He knew that even crowns turn to dust, that even statues crumble, that even names, once carved into marble, fade with time. So he let go, every day, of anger, of ego, of praise, of fear. He didn't live to possess, he lived to remain present. So ask yourself, what are you still holding that no longer serves your soul? The version of yourself you've outgrown? The story that says you're not enough? The voice that tells you to impress instead of express? Let it go. Not because it didn't matter, but because you matter more than the weight of your past. Letting go is not forgetting. It is remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. It is returning to stillness, to simplicity, to yourself. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to carry everyone. You don't have to explain your every step. You only have to ask, what is mine to hold? What can I release, gently, gratefully? What peace might rush in if I let go? Because here's the truth, we are not burdened by life itself. We are burdened by our attachment to how we think life should be. Release the should, embrace the is, and there, in that quiet space, is freedom. Let go, not to escape life, but to make space, to finally live it. Chapter 3. Lead quietly. In a world that celebrates loud voices, there is a sacred strength in those who lead without noise. We've been told that leadership looks like command, that it shouts, that it demands attention, that it walks into the room and takes control. But the greatest leaders walk in with humility and leave with respect. Leadership isn't about being followed. It's about being trusted. It doesn't require titles or spotlights or applause. It only requires one thing: inner clarity. When you know who you are, you no longer need to prove it. Marcus Aurelius led millions, but he ruled himself first. He wasn't interested in dominating others. He was interested in disciplining his soul. While others raised their voices, he raised his standards. He didn't lead through fear. He led through presence. He knew. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Just be one. That's leadership, not in speech, but in being. To lead quietly is to let your example speak louder than your ego. It's showing up when it's hard, listening when others shout, remaining calm when others crumble, and staying grounded when everything else shakes. Because the real work of leadership happens within, in the quiet hours, in the honest questions, in the mirror. You don't have to be in charge of an empire to be a leader. You lead every time you choose integrity over comfort, stillness over reaction, truth over popularity. You lead when no one's watching. The world needs fewer performers and more anchors, fewer commanders, and more calm minds in the middle of the storm. Because when everything feels like chaos, the one who breathes slowly becomes the lighthouse. So don't worry if they don't notice. Don't chase recognition. Don't bend yourself for applause. Just lead. Quietly. Consistently. With depth. And in doing so, you give others permission to do the same. Lead quietly. Not because the world expects it, but because your soul does. Chapter 4. Be one. After all the letting go, after the quiet leading, after peeling away the noise, the roles, the masks, there's only one thing left. You. Not the version the world shaped, not the persona you perform, not the reflection in someone else's expectations. Just you. Whole. Present. Undivided. To be one is not some poetic phrase. It is the most radical act of returning. Returning to your center. Returning to your integrity. Returning to the one thing that cannot be taken from you. Your essence. The modern world will try to fragment you. It pulls you in every direction. Be more. Say more. Want more. Be this, but also that. Fit in, but stand out. You become a crowd of selves all screaming at once. But the one who lives wisely learns how to become whole again. Marcus Aurelius never claimed to be perfect, but he tried every day to be whole. He didn't split himself between duty and desire, fame and fear. He aligned himself not with opinion, but with principle. He once wrote, "Be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands, unmoved, while the sea falls still around it." To be one is to be that rock, still, grounded, unmoved by storms, not hardened but anchored. You don't need to become someone else. You need to return to the one within you, the part that knows even when everything else forgets, the part that doesn't chase status, the part that isn't ruled by fear, the part that listens instead of shouts, the part of you that is not becoming, but remembering. So how do you become one? You stop pretending. You stop performing. You stop negotiating with your truth. You don't need more identity. You need more honesty. You don't need to be everything. You just need to be you. Completely. To be one is to walk into any room without shrinking and without needing to expand. Just steady. Just full. Just real. The world is full of copies. But the one who dares to be whole becomes a mirror, reminding others who they are, too. Be one, not many. Not fractured, not confused. Just one. True, clear, unshakable. Because when you are one, you are free. And nothing in the world is more powerful than that. So now you've heard the words, but words mean nothing if they don't shape how you live. This is not a call to do more. This is a call to remember what already lives within you. You don't need to conquer the world. You only need to come back to yourself. Live simply. Think deeply. Lead quietly. Be one. And if this message stirred something in you, don't rush away. Sit with it. Revisit it. Let it echo through your choices. Because philosophy is not something we read. It's something we practice, in silence, in struggle, in small moments. And maybe, in this noisy world, your quiet return is the most powerful rebellion of all. If these words resonated with you, pause. Not to react, but to let them sink in. And if someone in your life is also drowning in the noise, also forgetting the stillness within, share this video with them. Not to change them, but to remind them. We can still live simply, truthfully, and deeply, even in a complicated world. If you want to continue this journey, subscribe to Stoicism Flux, where every video isn't just philosophy, but a gentle reminder to live true to yourself. And remember, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to be still, take a breath, and return inward.